Think about the last time you felt a surge of joy that made your heart race, or a wave of anxiety that tied your stomach in knots. Consider the phantom limb pain felt by an amputee, or the profound relief when a headache finally subsides after taking a pill. These everyday experiences point to one of the most intimate yet perplexing mysteries of human existence: the relationship between your mind, your thoughts, feelings, consciousness, and your body, the physical, biological machine you inhabit. Are they two fundamentally different things, somehow intertwined? Or is your mind simply a product of your brain, a complex series of bioelectrical events? For millennia, this question, known as the mind-body problem, has captivated philosophers, theologians, scientists, and indeed, anyone who has ever pondered the nature of being. Today, we embark on a journey to explore this enduring enigma. What is the true nature of the connection between mind and body? Are you your brain? Or is there more to you than just physical matter? We'll navigate the historical landscape of philosophical thought, from the stark dualism of Descartes to contemporary materialist views. We will examine what modern neuroscience and medicine reveal about this intricate dance. And we will look to ancient wisdom and Eastern philosophies for alternative perspectives that might offer a more holistic understanding. Our goal is not to provide a definitive answer, for the mind-body problem remains one of philosophy's most persistent challenges. Instead, we aim to illuminate the different ways this question has been approached, to understand the arguments, the evidence, and the profound implications these ideas have for how we see ourselves, our health, and our place in the universe. The philosophical battlefield: dualism versus monism. Many of us intuitively feel a distinction between our mental life and our physical bodies. Our thoughts seem private, non-spatial, and directly accessible to us, while our bodies are public, occupy space, and are subject to the laws of physics. This intuitive sense has given rise to one of the oldest and most influential philosophical positions: dualism. The most famous proponent of dualism is the 17th century philosopher René Descartes. He argued that there are two fundamentally different kinds of substances in the universe: residential cogitans, thinking substance, or mind, and residential extensa, extended substance, or matter. Your mind, for Descartes, was an immaterial, indivisible thinking thing, while your body was a complex physical machine. Descartes believed these two distinct substances interacted, famously, though controversially, pinpointing the pineal gland in the brain as the principal seat of this interaction, the point where the non-physical mind could influence the physical body and vice versa. The appeal of Cartesian dualism is its alignment with many religious beliefs about an immortal soul separate from the mortal body, and its apparent ability to account for free will. If the mind is non-physical, it might not be entirely determined by physical laws. However, Cartesian dualism faces a monumental challenge: the interaction problem. If mind and body are so radically different, how can they possibly causally interact? How can a non-physical thought move a physical arm? This remains a critical stumbling block for substance dualism. A more contemporary form, property dualism, suggests that there's only one kind of substance, physical substance, but it can possess two fundamentally different kinds of properties. Physical properties, like mass, charge, and neuronal firing patterns, and mental properties, like the subjective experience of pain, the color red, or a feeling of love, often called qualia. According to property dualists, these mental properties are emergent. They arise from complex physical systems like brains, but they are not reducible to or identical with those physical properties. They are something genuinely new and different. This view attempts to avoid the difficulties of two separate substances while still acknowledging the seemingly unique nature of subjective experience. However, it still faces questions about how these non-physical properties can have causal effects in the physical world, a version of the interaction problem. In direct opposition to dualism, Monism asserts that there is only one fundamental kind of reality. The apparent distinction between mind and body is, for monists, either an illusion or a misunderstanding of this single reality. The most prevalent form of monism in contemporary philosophy and science is materialism or physicalism. This view holds that everything that exists is physical or is ultimately dependent on the physical. The mind, therefore, is not a separate entity but is identical to, reducible to, or an emergent product of physical processes in the brain. Identity theory argues that mental states are literally identical to brain states, e.g., pain is the firing of C fibers. Functionalism defines mental states not by what they are made of, but by what they do, their causal roles. A mental state is like software that can run on different hardware. Eliminative materialism takes a radical stance, suggesting that our common-sense psychological concepts, like belief, desire, feeling, are fundamentally flawed and will eventually be replaced by a more accurate neuroscientific vocabulary. The strength of materialism lies in its compatibility with modern science. However, it struggles to fully account for subjective experience, the what-it's-like aspect of consciousness. Can a purely physical description ever capture the richness of our inner lives? Idealism flips materialism on its head. It proposes that mind or consciousness is the fundamental reality, and the physical world is either a construct of mind or exists as ideas within a universal consciousness, as in George Berkeley's famous dictum, "To be is to be perceived." While less common in mainstream science, idealism challenges our default assumption that matter is primary. Its challenge is to explain the apparent objectivity and stability of the physical world if it's all in the mind. Neutral monism, championed by philosophers like Baruch Spinoza and Bertrand Russell, suggests that the fundamental stuff of the universe is neither mental nor physical, but something neutral. Mind and matter are then seen as different aspects or manifestations of this underlying neutral reality. Spinoza, for instance, viewed mind and body as two attributes of a single infinite substance, which he called God or nature. They don't interact because they are not separate things to begin with, but parallel expressions of the same underlying order. This view offers an elegant way to overcome the mind-body divide. But the nature of this neutral stuff remains elusive. Scientific scrutiny, the brain, the body, and their dialogue. While philosophers debate the fundamental nature of mind and body, scientists, particularly neuroscientists, are working to understand the intricate mechanisms that link our mental experiences to our physical brains. The evidence is overwhelming that the brain plays a crucial role in our mental lives. Damage to specific brain areas can lead to predictable deficits in cognitive functions, emotions, and even personality. Neurotransmitters and hormones, the chemical messengers of the brain and body, profoundly influence our moods, thoughts, and behaviors. Researchers use advanced imaging techniques like fMRI and EEG to identify the neural correlates of consciousness, the patterns of brain activity consistently associated with specific conscious experiences. While finding these correlations doesn't solve the hard problem, it provides powerful insights into how the brain processes information and generates our awareness. Furthermore, the brain is not a static organ. Neuroplasticity demonstrates that our experiences, thoughts, and behaviors can physically change the brain's structure and function. Learning a new skill or practicing mindfulness can reshape neural pathways, suggesting a dynamic, bidirectional relationship. The brain enables mind, and mind shapes the brain. The idea that the mind can affect the body's health is ancient, but it's gained significant scientific traction through fields like psychosomatic medicine and psychoneuroimmunology, PNI. PNI studies the complex interactions between the central nervous system, the endocrine system, and the immune system. Chronic stress, anxiety, and depression have been shown to dysregulate immune responses, increase inflammation, and make individuals more susceptible to a range of illnesses. The placebo effect, where a patient experiences genuine therapeutic benefits from an inert treatment simply because they believe it will work, is a powerful demonstration of the mind's influence on the body. Conversely, the nocebo effect shows that negative expectations can lead to negative physical outcomes. This research shows that mental states are deeply intertwined with physiological processes, and psychological well-being is an integral component of physical health. Traditionally, cognitive science often viewed the mind as a kind of computer, somewhat detached from the body. However, the field of embodied cognition challenges this view. It argues that our cognitive processes, thinking, learning, understanding, are deeply grounded in and shaped by our body's physical characteristics and sensory-motor interactions with the environment. For example, how we understand abstract concepts like up and down may be rooted in our physical experiences. Our posture, gestures, and even our gut microbiome can influence our mood and decisions. Embodied cognition suggests that the mind is not just in the brain. It extends throughout the body and into the environment, blurring the sharp distinction between mind and body and viewing them as an integrated system. Despite these incredible advances, science has not yet solved the mind-body problem philosophically. We can observe correlations and understand mechanisms, but how physical processes give rise to subjective experience remains a profound challenge. Echoes from the East, holistic perspectives. While much of Western philosophy has historically emphasized a sharper distinction between mind and body, many Eastern traditions offer more holistic and integrated perspectives. These systems often view mind and body not as separate entities, but as different expressions of a unified reality or as deeply interdependent processes. Buddhist philosophy, through the concept of pratityasamutpada, dependent origination, emphasizes that all phenomena, including mind and body, arise in mutual dependence. The term namarupa, name and form, or mentality-materiality, is crucial. Nama refers to mental components, feelings, perceptions, intentions, consciousness, while rupa refers to physical components. These two are described as inseparable, like two sheaves of reeds leaning against each other. Buddhist meditative practices, such as mindfulness, involve cultivating awareness of both mental and physical sensations as they arise and pass, fostering an understanding of their interconnected and impermanent nature. Hindu philosophical systems also offer diverse views. The Skaya school presents a form of dualism between purua, consciousness, and prakti, matter. However, many other schools, like Advaita Vedanta, are staunchly monistic, asserting that the ultimate reality, Brahman, is a singular, undifferentiated consciousness, and the perceived separation between individual minds and bodies is a form of illusion, Maya. The practices of yoga, union, are designed to harmonize mind, body, and spirit. Asanas, physical postures, prima, breath control, and meditation work synergistically. Pra is understood as vital life force energy flowing through both mind and body, and its balanced flow is essential for health. Concepts like chakras, energy centers, and Qualan, spiritual energy, further illustrate this integrated psychophysical model. Traditional Chinese medicine, TCM, is inherently holistic, viewing the human being as a microcosm of the universe, governed by principles like yin and yang and the five elements. There is no sharp Cartesian divide. Instead, concepts like qi, vital energy, shun, spirit or mind, and jing, essence, are seen as fundamentally interconnected. Emotional imbalances are understood to disrupt qi flow and affect organ systems, leading to physical illness. Conversely, physical ailments can impact shen. Treatments like acupuncture and qigong aim to restore balance. These Eastern perspectives generally emphasize the dynamic interplay and inseparability of mind and body, often incorporating practices that cultivate this integration. They challenge us to consider whether some perceived problems are artifacts of our conceptual frameworks. Living with the enigma, implications, and conclusion. Our exploration of the mind-body relationship reveals a rich tapestry of ideas, but no single, simple answer. So, why does grappling with this question matter? Our understanding profoundly influences how we approach health and illness. A dualistic view might lead to treating the body as a machine separate from the mind, while an integrated view supports holistic approaches. The rise of integrative medicine reflects a growing appreciation for this interconnectedness. The mind-body question is also at the heart of understanding who we are. Are we primarily thinking beings with bodies, or embodied beings whose thoughts are shaped by our physicality? Our answer affects our sense of identity and responsibility. Views on this relationship also have ethical implications in areas like animal consciousness, AI, and end-of-life care. The mind-body problem is not a static puzzle, but an ongoing dialogue, an evolving inquiry. Perhaps the solution lies not in choosing one definitive answer, but in appreciating the complexity and multifaceted nature of this fundamental aspect of our existence. It may involve embracing a degree of mystery, acknowledging the limits of our current understanding while continuing to explore with curiosity. Ultimately, how you experience and understand your own mind-body connection is a personal journey. Do you feel more like a ghost in a machine or an integrated whole? How do your thoughts affect your body? And how do your bodily sensations influence your mind? We encourage you to reflect on these questions. What perspectives resonated most with you? What new questions have emerged? Share your thoughts in the comments below. This conversation is enriched by every voice. If you found this exploration of the mind-body problem insightful, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, The Noble Wisdom Path, for more deep dives into life's big questions, and hit the notification bell. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the heart of what it means to be a thinking, feeling, living being.